Am I the asshole for not paying for my niece's college tuition? I, 45M. I'm a father of 3, 25M, 21M, and 18F. But I also take care of my niece, 17F, after her father passed away. My wife, 45F. And I have always treated her like family, and we give her things equally to the others so that she doesn't feel left out. I honestly really care about her, but financially I can't support her all my life. When my eldest moved away I had more money to spare, so I was able to get her more things. My daughter is now going away to college, so my niece was excited and came to my wife and I about colleges she liked. I told her it was great she was thinking of college, and I said it would be good for to apply for scholarships now so it would be easier later. She laughed and asked why when her tuition would be paid for. I told her that no, I wouldn't, I only had money to pay for my kids, but I would help her out with basic necessities. She was silent after that, then went to her room. Apparently she spoke to my father because he called me in a rage and said I was being cruel to her, especially since my brother was always close to me when he was alive. I told him I just didn't have that type of money saved, and he said if I had cared for her I would have started saving as soon as I took her in. My brother died very young, so he didn't have much saved, and my niece's mother's side isn't offering anything. I admit I could have told her earlier that I wouldn't pay for her tuition, but I didn't. Am I the asshole? Edit. Additional information. Yes, I receive SS, but my brother had little credit, so it wasn't much, so I pay more. I'm her legal guardian, I didn't adopt her. I'm looking into FOFSA. Info. If you're in the United States, did you legally adopt your niece, or are you simply her guardian? If you have guardianship but didn't adopt your niece, she will be considered an independent student when she applies for financial aid. She doesn't have to report your income on her FOFSA. That should significantly reduce her cost of attending college and make her Pell Grant eligible. It may actually be possible for you to pay whatever cost remains even if you have minimal savings. Fill out the FOFSA to get an idea of what her expected contribution is, and talk to a financial aid officer at your local university to find out what aid is available. Info. Have you been receiving Social Security death benefits for her this whole time? Am I the asshole for reporting my son's therapist for sharing private information with his stepdad? My M36 son's 14 dog passed away recently. I signed him up with a therapist because his dog's death has literally left him unable to speak. He's been in therapy for 2 weeks now. 2 days ago, my son called crying saying his stepdad punished him by taking his bicycle and selling it for no reason. I was livid. I went to have a word with his stepdad and he told me that there was a reason, and that is the fact that my son badmouthed him to the therapist, and claimed that he treated the dog poorly. I was floored at this. I had an argument with him and asked how the hell he knew and told him to prove that my son said all that. He showed me texts between him and my son's therapist. So basically, the therapist had been giving out private info about a bunch of stuff my son talked about in therapy. I was even more floored. I went straight to that therapist and we had a huge argument. I told him I was going to report him after he defended himself, saying the reason he gave my son's stepdad this info was because of concern as a parent. I said that I don't give a shit what the justification was, and went on with my report. He tried to talk about how he felt for my son's stepdad and his concerns as a parent, so he didn't think he did anything wrong. My son's mom called after she found out about the report, and she blew up at me on the phone, calling me a controlling asshole for what I did. I ignored her calls after that, but my own wife thought I made a hasty decision and that the real problem was with my son's stepdad, not the therapist. Was I in the wrong for reporting him? Hey, I'm a therapist. What this therapist did was against the law. Your son was not in danger of hurting himself or someone else. There was nothing helpful that could have come of the therapist telling stepdad this info. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. There's a reason those conversations are private. Not even the parents should know what is talked about. Your poor son is going to have a very difficult time trusting someone else. Nope. He had no right to contact the stepdad and, in fact, further harmed your son. That is a horrible therapist and he deserves to lose his license. Regardless, he is now useless as a therapist to your son because he betrayed his trust, and good luck with getting him to open up to anyone else now. Am I the asshole for uninviting my recently widowed brother to a family event? My F29 brother's wife passed away recently from cancer about 8 weeks ago. He isolated himself from everyone for 2 weeks. Mom and dad were so worried about him, and so they started inviting him to family events at their house. He agrees to come, but then at some point, someone mentions his wife, even just her name, and he begins to sob. I'm not exaggerating. As a result, dinner get awkward, and whatever event is being hosted gets interrupted. This happened 3 times already. Last weekend was my turn to host dinner. My husband and I were worried same thing will happen again. My husband said it'd be almost impossible that no one will mention my brother's wife at some point. So he suggested I let my brother sit this one out. In other words, just let him stay home and get the space he needs. I considered the idea, then called my brother and apologized to him for canceling his invite. He wasn't happy about it, which was surprising to me because I thought he was basically forced to attend those events. My parents found out and went off on me, calling my behavior disgraceful and saying that I was unsupportive and unfeeling to what my brother's going through to exclude him like that. I explained why I thought this was the best option, but they claimed that I took away the comfort and support that my brother gets from the people around him. They said that I was selfish and have no regard for my brother's loss, but I 100% do. My husband said that my parents obviously don't care about guests being uncomfortable watching my brother sob at every event and causing it to be cut short like that. They're still pretty much mad at me and demanding I apologize to my brother because I hurt his feelings. You are the asshole, it's been 8 weeks. You and your husband are callous, selfish assholes. My husband said that my parents obviously don't care about guests being uncomfortable watching my brother sob at every event and causing it to be cut short like that. His wife died. WTF is wrong with you too? You are the asshole. Sorry your wife died, but your sadness kinda bums everyone out, so you just need to be alone. Holy shit. You and your husband are not just assholes, but whatever comes after that. You are the asshole. His grief is going to be uncomfortable for people because it's raw and real. He needs people to be able to sit with his discomfort, to be supportive. It's been weeks, not years. You are so unsupportive and dismissive. Am I the asshole for kicking my dad and stepmom out of my house? F23 recently read another Am I the asshole that was similar to this. I didn't think that I would be in the same, almost same, situation. My family lives in my grandparents' house just outside the city on an acreage. My dad works out of town and my mom liked having the help with me and she liked helping out her folks. My mom passed away from cancer about 12 years ago. My dad still had to work, so I just kept living with my grandparents. My dad always spent time with me when he was home. I wish my mom hadn't passed, but I had a pretty good life. When he was home he would stay in their old room or we would go on vacations. My grandparents both passed away over the last couple of years from COVID and complications. My mom was an only child and so am I. My mom's life insurance went to my dad, and he used it to help renovate the house. My grandparents never charged him rent. Sorry, I realize how confusing this is. Anyways, I am the only person in my grandmother's will. I got money and the house and my grandpa's truck. My dad started dating a couple of years after my mom passed away. He never brought anyone to the house until this last one. She is young but pretty. She also has 2 young kids. He talked to me about it and asked if they could move in. It's a big house and I have a large area to myself. So I agreed. So she's been living with me for about 6 months. Now she just got pregnant. My dad asked her to marry him. I'm happy for him. He is a great dad. He is shit at communicating though. My stepmom-to-be has started in on me about when I'm going to move out since they will need my room for the baby. I guess she wants her mom to come live with her and help. My dad never told it the house is mine. So my dad came home last weekend and we had a long talk. The stepkids have been sharing my grandparents' old room. I have my room with a big closet and ensuite my dad put in, and he has the other big bedroom with an ensuite. She wants me to move to the city while I finish my education. She offered me her apartment at a discount. I waited for my dad to tell her. He didn't, so I did. I told her it's my house and I'm not giving up my room. I also said that my dad had a fair amount savings and could probably buy them a house. Especially if they sold her apartment and used it for a down payment. Now I'm the asshole for making him use money he was planning on for his retirement, and she doesn't want to sell her apartment because the market is going to keep going up and she wants to build equity. I made it clear that they should move before the baby comes. AITA. Edit. Sorry if I didn't make it clear. They are very definitely moving out. Not the asshole. The house is yours. That is just a reality. You are not moving out. That is another reality. She offered me her apartment at a discount. This is funny considering she is living in your home for free. Morgan Freeman narration. The market did not keep going up. Not the asshole. Facts are facts. You're not leaving them without options, and she wasn't leaving you without one, although, it irks me a bit that she wanted you to rent her apartment. Doesn't sound like there will be bad blood. Rest easy.